Every now and then there comes across a beautiful experience, quite something like this, where you don't really want to review a product, because these kind of products are not meant for reviewing in the truest sense of the word. They are more of an experience, and they should be really experienced, exactly what that word really means. And what we have here is a Toyota Hilux. In terms of the numbers and the overall hardware that you get, well, this is a body-on-ladder construction, so there is definitely going to be a compromise on the road. But what we are here for is sheer off-road driving. We have been through some trails, we have been through some riverbeds, obstacles, of course, as I said. We have done some river crossings as well. And this thing has been performing absolutely flawlessly. This has got a trusty old engine, diesel, of course. It delivers about 200 horsepower, and because we have the automatic model right now, it makes 500 newton meters of torque from a 2.8 liter engine. Now, a lot of people will say that for a big, heavy, lumbering piece of metal like this, just 200 bhp is perhaps not sufficient enough. But it's not really about horsepower. This car is all about the torques, and there are 500 of them. What I love about the engine is that the 500 newton meter peak figure, it starts getting delivered at as low as 1600 RPM, which is absolutely lovely. It has taken us through some absolutely gigantic slopes. It may not look really all that scary in the video, but trust me when I say this, the angles have been absolutely ridiculous, and yeah, it just gives you that lump in the throat sort of feel, which is scary and absolutely beautifully enjoyable in its own right. Now, in terms of the obstacle course that has been laid out for us, the first one was nice and interesting. It was a negative incline, and we got the passenger side at an angle, and it almost feels like you yourself are counter steering within the car, because you have to line up straight. The car goes at an angle, and we did about 30, more than perhaps 30 degrees as well of sideways incline. And to have your orientation in place, you kind of do like this so that your line of sight is absolutely straight on. So it just almost feels like you inside the car are counter steering yourself, which is hilarious just to even think about it. But yeah, it's been an absolute joy, because that thing could not really bother this car at all. I was a little worried that the long wheelbase, well over 3 meters, is going to be a bit of a problem, but that did not happen at all. It also benefits from approach and departure angles, 26 and 29 degrees. So there is enough amount of leverage that you can have with this car. Now we are lining up for an obstacle which is essentially about axle articulation. You get into neutral, push the dial, four-low gets engaged, and then you get into the diff lock mode, which is basically a button over here. Then you look right in the front, prepare yourself, pray to the Almighty that your lines are okay. So here goes. Axle articulation on display. As you feel the car getting light on its feet, just be very gentle in feeding the throttle. It's almost as if you're crawling, and then let the systems take care of everything, because that's what they're designed for. Now we are going to have a dip on the other side. Here goes. Yeah, I could hear not just the wheel kind of saying hello to the ground, but also a sigh of relief the moment we kind of landed and we did not touch anything. So this is absolutely phenomenal. It's so beautiful. Now the next obstacle is a river crossing or water wading, and for that we do not need diff lock, so we are going to disengage it. Lined up for the water wading. I don't know how deep this is, but it is deep enough. And what is needed is that you kind of go slow. You don't massively smash your foot into the carpet, go very high speed. That's not what you need to do, because the riverbed is still very soft and it's got pebbles which have moss all over them. So if you have a lot of speed and if you have tires spinning, there is a chance that you might just start digging yourself deeper in. So the trick is to be a little slow but steady, and yeah, that's it. Negotiated beautifully without any fuss at all. And now what we're going to do is go and attack a bit of a natural ramp. Again, for this, especially going uphill, you need to engage for low, and you also need to be locking your diffs. The trick over here is to have momentum. So unlike how I said that you had to be a little slow and be steady during water wading, this is a bit opposite. You have to carry momentum so that it just takes you up. So here goes. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, bit of an abuse over there, but this thing just takes it, and that just blows my mind, because again, I just go back to that feeling that I had of the huge wheelbase of this car. Probably is going to be a challenge, but so far it has not been. And this is not a very manicured setup at all. There is nothing which has been artificially created. There are no artificial ramps. It's all natural. It's all completely wild here. Now what we're going to do is go down a slope, and for that, first we are going to position ourselves, line up properly. But this time around, no diff lock. It's going to be taken care of by the hill descent control. That, and also get your gear lever in the S mode and go down the gears, get into the first ratio of the gearbox. So S1, that is in the gearbox, diff locks off, hill descent on, and you're in 4 low. Let's go. I will not be accelerating or braking at all. It is all going to be up to the car itself. Lining up. Yeah, you feel the brakes getting activated, and the system is just going to take care of everything. It just takes the roll away from you, which is unfortunate because you would also like to do this by your own inputs. But anyway, so far ahead is the vehicle capability compared to yours that, yeah, you don't mind, and in the process, you look like a hero. If you look at the product attributes, this is not really going to shine like some other current day technology laden off-roaders like the Defender, for example. But in its own little ways, with its own rudimentary hardware and everything being very kind of middle of the road in terms of numbers, this thing has delivered to the teeth. There has been nothing that kind of broke it into a sweat, and it just goes to show that probably the levels of performance of this car are much beyond that of the driver itself. And I feel no shame in saying that.